Alrighty, guys, not only do we have the pleasure of speaking to one Rappahannock Electric Cooperative superstar, we have the pleasure of speaking to two. It is my pleasure to introduce Daniel Dewey, Director of Operations and Construction and Lineman, as well as Ryan Garner. Thank you both for being here today. How are you guys doing?
Doing great.
Doing well.
Good. Ryan, you are in the field right now, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Doing an interview from the field, how more organic can you get right there? So we really wanted to bring you both on here today to talk a little about yourselves and, why did you go to work at REC and what keeps you all there? So, Daniel, if you want to go first, and then we'll hear from Ryan about your startup experience with REC.
When I first started, I was looking for a career, and I started at Dominion and worked on the line crews there for 4 years. And that was in the city, and I wanted something a little bit closer to home and more rural, and ended up landing the job at REC, and has worked out well for me since.
That's awesome. And Daniel, you just took over this position in January, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
Yeah. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. It was a little overwhelming the first couple of weeks, but I've settled in a whole lot better now.
That's awesome. Now, Ryan, could you give us a little insight into why did you want to go work for Rappahannock Electric Cooperative?
I first started, I was working in Northern Virginia at a natural gas contractor, and seen the ad in the paper about a temp meter reader at REC. So I applied for the position, I got it, and I worked reading meters for about 2 years, and Hurricane Isabel came through, and they needed all hands on deck, and I went out in the field with the guys, and I really liked it, and been doing it ever since.
That's awesome. You said you applied for a job, so we're going to take this a step back and ask, how does somebody even become a lineman? Is there any kind of like apprenticeship or anything like that you had to do first?
Yeah, it's when you get hired on here, if you get hired on as an apprentice, there's a process that we go through. It's a 4-year school. You go to school every 6 months. We had been outsourcing it until COVID, and now we're actually doing it in-house until this ends, and then we'll start using our the Virginia, Maryland, Delaware Association to continue to educate these guys. And like I said, they go to school every 6 months, and you get raises after completing each class. And then it's about a year and a half after that, you actually top out as a lineman. So it's about a 5.5-year process at the co-op. It may be a little bit different in other areas, but there's also other schools out there. Huh?
Did you go through that schooling as an already employee of REC?
Yes, when you get hired on, we send you to school. But I've always said 90% of what we learn is on the job.
Right.
Schools, we get certified through the school and for a lot of this stuff, but a lot of the stuff that we learn as a lineman is on the job. And we got a lot of good guys here, a lot of good guys to learn from. Ryan is actually a lead lineman now, and he's pretty much, a teacher teaching it, because we have a lot of young apprentice linemen here now. I'd say almost half of our workforce is apprentice linemen at Bowling Green.
It's a very good thing to go into for someone beginning or like out of high school, out of college kind of thing. Is what I'm kind of hearing.
I'm sorry, you're muffled a little bit.
I'm sorry about that. So it sounds like it's a good job to go to, like straight out of high school, out of college, when you're looking to start a new career.
Yes, ma'am. And they actually, some community colleges, and they actually have schools in different states. It's a pretty big thing, but there's one in Virginia at Southside that you can actually pay and go to school. And when you come out of there, you're certified to climb, you're certified CPR, first aid, forklift. You got a Class A CDL license, no restrictions. It's very helpful. It's costly, but it's very helpful. It's about a 15-week program, I think. And it's helped a lot of guys get a job here. You know, it's that kind of skips the first step of the program to become a lineman. You know, the climbing school part.
Action's happening.
Yeah.
I don't condone oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead, Ryan. I want to listen to you.
I was just gonna take it a little bit further. I just, I don't condone kids not wanting to go to college, but if college not for them, this is a great profession to get into. I mean, great benefits, pay, and get to experience a lot of neat things.
Well, I am dying to know what a typical day in the life of it looks like for you guys. So, Ryan, if you want to go ahead, you're on the field right now. I know this is not a typical 9 to 5 for you, but I would love to hear a little about your day.
It starts off, I'm an early bird, so I get there kind of early in the morning. Look over the jobs that I have on my desk and figure out what the job involves and try to figure out what materials or equipment I need for the day. Once the guys get in, I get them together, give them the list, and they get all the material, equipment, and everything together. And we go out in the field, and I'll go ahead of them and look at the job, see what's going on as far as the physical part of it, and pretty much we'll have a tailboard discussion about the job before we start, so everybody have an idea what's going on. Then we'll get the job done and make sure everybody goes home in the evening time.
Now, what is the longest that you have worked? I remember talking to one of our young professionals, Amelia, and she said the lineman, especially when the weather's bad, it could be an all-day thing going from early morning until late at night.
Most of the time, I think we were working maybe 16 hours a day.
Wow.
Unless it's a major storm, I think you will allow for 2 more hours and make it 18. But most of the time, it's 16 hours a day as far as a storm, most of the time.
Yeah, those are some long days. Well, we appreciate everything that you guys do. Now, I know the most important question here that everyone wants to know the answer to is everybody that drives a yellow truck a lineman.
You want to take that, Ryan, or you want me to take it? I can take it.
You can take that.
Like I said, it's more to the utilities than just line work. You got the guys that handle the meter inside, which we more or less call them, and they do a little bit more than just the meters, but the member service field reps, they'll go out and work on switching out meters, and they go a little bit above that with some water heater switches and some AC switches and some other things. And they also help us during major storms. They'll become a helper or a guide. We got substation department. They go out and they just specifically work on substations, which they also will help us during storms as well. You got the apparatus guys that handle all the transformers and the special equipment. And then we do have a metering department that handles the testing of the meters and special metering and things like that. And that's the majority of it, of the trucks that you see out there. But most of the bucket trucks that you see right in the digger derricks that you see running up down the road are linemen. The bigger trucks are.
Just curious. We're asking for many friends.
What's that?
We are asking for many friends. Okay. Everyone wanted to know.
That's awesome. So you mentioned major storms several times. What happens when there is a major storm? Do we get a lot of outages in our area? Like, who responds to that? And how do you make the decision of who gets their power back on first?
We're pretty much during a storm. We're pretty much a first responder to any of it. A lot of times, a lot of things will come up on it. Before anybody could call and say there's a tree in the road, that outage was caused by that tree falling across the road and knocking the power line down. And we end up calling it in. We call 911. I mean, we don't call specifically 911, but we have our dispatchers call any kind of emergency that we need. You know, they would handle it. But as far as some of it, you know, we have guys on call they're on call 24/7. We have guys that pull duties all the time, so somebody is guaranteed to be on that call if something happens somewhere.
You guys ever like?
You got anything you want to add to it, Ryan?
No, not really. I mean, I think you touched all the bases on that.
What about in other areas? If there are surrounding areas that had a bigger storm than we do y'all ever go kind of help out with that, or is it more stay in your territory kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, we've been to, you know, when I first started here, I'd been here for a couple of years when Katrina hit down there in Louisiana, and we made the road trip down there. They've made the road trip to, we sent a bunch of guys when Sandy hit up north. And I've been on a couple more storms, and especially even in Virginia, we'll help out all the neighboring co-ops in our association. Most any time that they need us.
That's amazing. Well, once again, thank you guys for everything that you do. I want to finish off by asking each of you, what is the most rewarding part of your job? And Daniel, you can go first.
You know, throughout my career, the most rewarding thing was just getting everybody's lights on and getting home safely. You know.
I love that one. We definitely take it for granted, that's for sure.
I took pride in that, you know, I was, you know, I had lights, but you know, if I lost my lights, I'm the first one that's good. You know, as soon as my power goes off, that's where I'm going. I know exactly where to go to look and to try to get my power back on. And I'd like to do the same for everybody else.
That's awesome. Ryan, how about you?
I think Daniel hit the nail on the head of just, you know, getting the members' lights back on and seeing that smile on their faces, and they telling you thank you, you know, and what great job we've done, and just getting everybody home safe every day is a pretty big thing. That safety is our main goal each and every day.
Absolutely. Well, as an REC customer myself, you guys definitely keep us informed of what's going on in the area. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today and giving us a little insight of what it means to be a lineman. And we do truly appreciate everything you guys do in our area. I think we kind of take it for granted a little bit until that big storm comes. But we really do truly thank you guys, and thank you to REC.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.